Hi everyone, my name's Teresa and I'm an engineer and I work in the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering at Queen's University Belfast. And this is my puppy pal, Monty. And today we're going to talk to you about something that we use nearly every day as engineers, and that's graphs and bar charts. And so graphs and bar charts are basically ways of being able to express lots of information in pictures. So it makes it much easier for everyone to be able to read and to understand. So today I'm going to be teaching you about making your own bar chart, and I'm going to use the example of the fruit in the bowl. So to start us off, we're going to count out the amount of fruit we have. So we have 4 bananas, we have 2 red apples, we have 1 lemon, and we have 5 oranges in total. And with all of this information, or data as we call it, we're going to make something called a bar chart. So let's take a look at the data that we've collected. We could write the data down in a list like this, saying 1 lemon, 5 oranges, 4 bananas, and 2 apples. Or we could represent the data as pictures, with again 1 lemon, 5 oranges, 4 bananas, and 2 apples. Or what we typically do within engineering and mathematical applications is we'll create something called a data table. And then the data table will include the name of the item that we're looking at and the numbers of items we currently have. So, having created our data table, the next thing we're going to try and do is draw a graph. And the first thing we'll do is give our graph a title. And in this case, our graph will be called Fruit in the Bowl. Next, we're going to draw 2 lines, one horizontal. This is called the horizontal axis, and in mathematics it's called the x-axis. And one vertical line. This is called the vertical axis or the y-axis. And we're going to label each of our axes. So on our x-axis, our horizontal axis, we're going to have the type of fruit. And on our y-axis, the vertical axis, we're going to have the number of fruit. So across our x-axis, we're going to put the different categories or the different types of fruit that we have counted. So we have lemon, orange, banana, and apple. And along the y-axis, we're going to create something called a scale. And so you'll see on my y-axis, I've added each of these small lines, and these small lines are equidistant apart. So there's an equal distance between each of these things. And so these can indicate to us the number of items that we have on our graph. And so in our case, our scale is increasing 1 at a time. So the unit of difference between these two numbers is 1. But in other graphs, you could maybe have a unit of 5, for example. So that would mean that you would start off at 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Or you could have a unit of 10. So you'd start with 10, 20, 30, 40. So you can use different units depending on the type of data or the amount of information you have. The next thing we're going to do then is create the bars in our bar chart. So starting first with lemons. In our lemon category, we create a small bar that represents the number of lemons we have. So going across from 1. Oranges, we had 5 oranges, so we draw a bar that brings us all the way up to the number 5, and that represents the number of oranges we have. And again for bananas, we have 4 bananas in total, so we draw a bar same length bringing us up to number 4. And finally apples, where we had 2 apples and we draw a bar that goes to the same height as the number 2. So, having completed our bar chart, it's worth looking back at some of the other ways we presented our data. So we wrote a list of our information, we also drew pictures of our information, and we created something called a data table to present our information in. And finally, we've created our bar chart. Now the nice thing about bar charts that we can see really clearly in this picture is that we can immediately identify, without really any difficulty at all, that the largest number of fruit that we have are oranges, and that the smallest number of fruit we have are lemons. And we can even go further and say we have twice as many apples as we have lemons, and we have twice as many bananas as we have apples. And so we can make these judgments and we can make these insights really quickly when we present this information in bar charts or in graph form. So now it's your turn. Using a pencil, a paper, and a ruler, or any straight edge you have, like something like the edge of a book, you can try and draw your own bar chart. And if you need some examples to start off with, maybe you can gather some data about the different coloured cars that are on your street, or the different sizes of teddy bears you have, so how many small, medium, and large teddy bears you have, or maybe the different types of tinned food that you have in your house. So how many packets of beans, tomatoes, soup, all of those kind of things. All of that information can be presented as bar charts. So thank you so much for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe and to share with all of your friends and family.